I love Popeyes, or I did, until my last visit ruined it for me forever. Thinking about it still makes me sick, but I will suffer through retelling this memory one more time. I used to eat at Popeyes probably 3 or 4 times a week. There's a location just down the road from me, making it very convenient. It had been a long day. I was stuck late at work for 2 entire hours. I didn't even have time to eat much during my lunch break, so I was starving. As late as it was, I knew there was no chance I'd be able to cook dinner. Since I was already craving Popeyes, I figured I'd go in and eat. When I stepped inside, I was greeted by an empty restaurant. No line whatsoever, except there was nobody at the register either. It was almost like they were closed, but I simply couldn't have that. I went up to the counter and called for an employee. Maybe in my hunger, I didn't realize that shouting so loud would come off as rude. There's a chance that's where it all went wrong. A few seconds later, a single employee came out from the kitchen. I unfortunately recognized him as someone I had some issues with before. He was a scrawny, greasy little guy, but he had that tiny dog syndrome that made him think he was hot shit. He recognized me too. His rotten smile and wandering eyes violated me without even touching me, and before he even spoke, I knew where his mind was going. He had tried flirting with me before, but I was wholly unprepared for how bold he would be now that we were alone.
Welcome to Popeyes. How may I take you?
Ugh, I'm very hungry. So can you take my order, please?
Of course. A classy lady like you must be wined and dined first. What would you like? I got Hennessy in the back.
I don't drink. I want fried chicken.
Well, you see, we're out of chicken for the night.
What? Then why are you open?
We're not. It's just me. Why do you think everyone else cleared out? Or did you think I reserved this whole restaurant for you?
Oh, that's it. I'm out of here.
Wait, don't scurry off just yet. We have substitutes.
Let me guess. Impossible chicken?
Actually, we've branched off into other meats. Real meats. I'll let you try some of mine if you just,
Enough! Stop playing games with me. I'm here for one thing and one thing only. Fried chicken. So either give me a number 4 large or take all your stupid jokes and shove them up your ass.
I had never blown up on a food service worker like that before, though I felt like my Karen moment was fully justified. That guy was always a creepy little deviant, but he crossed the line that night. The rest of the interaction continued in silence. He didn't seem to have anything else to say, but an irritating smirk remained on his face. I figured he was just trying to come up with some other smart-ass innuendos. I was just thinking to myself that there was no way I was going to try ordering anything else from him. After the transaction was finally complete, he went back to make the food. It seemed like he was the only person working after all. I wondered if he was going to spit in my food or something. I laughed to myself, thinking he would probably like it if I spat in his food. Several starving minutes later, the creep returned with my order. I went up to the counter and grabbed it without saying a word or looking him in the eyes, even as he stared at me with that disgusting look on his face. He also watched me pour my drink, not moving from that spot. When I sat down with everything, he was still watching me like he had nothing better to do. I flipped him off. Then I took the first long-awaited bite of delicious fried chicken, but something was wrong, very wrong. Oh God, I hate it so much. It was hairy and crunchy on the inside. The first bite cracked something open, and all this rotten sludge came oozing out. It coated the back of my mouth before I could spit it out, but then after I gagged and threw it back up on the table, what I had just been chewing was suddenly staring me in the face. It was the head of a rat. I threw up everywhere, trying to get the rat brains out of my mouth. I rinsed it out with Diet Coke, but the taste didn't go away. It just combined. When I realized nothing was going to put me out of my misery, my only other option was to kill that son of a bitch that did this to me. I looked back at the godless creep. He was laughing his ass off. I ran after him, but the slimy bastard was too quick. He barricaded himself in the office before I could get to him. As a last resort, I gave up and called the police. I took pictures of everything. I wasn't going to let that sicko get away because of a lack of evidence. If I can't pummel him back into the gutter he crawled out of, I'm going to send him to prison and sue him and Popeyes for every possible penny. Not that I'll ever be able to eat my favorite food in the entire world, ever again. A woman claimed she discovered a rat's head in her Popeyes chicken. Rosemary Thomas said she found the fried head in her food at a Harlem Popeyes restaurant. She posted pictures of it on her Facebook profile. This is clearly a rat, and they have the nerve to have a 5 rating by the Department of Health. My daughter is traumatized. I had to take her to urgent care last night, vomited with diarrhea all day, she wrote in a Facebook post. According to the city's Department of Health's website, the Harlem Fried Chicken chain was last inspected on April 21, 2016, and received an A grade. But the year before, inspectors wrote that the facility was not vermin-proof and has harborage or conditions conducive to attracting vermin to the premises and or allowing vermin to exist. Thomas is expected to bring her chicken to the restaurant Monday and meet with the franchise owner to test it. The health department has mentioned it received a 311 complaint regarding the Harlem's Popeyes and sent a public health sanitarian to investigate it further. Popeyes was my first job. I was terrified when I first started there. I had no real-world experience, so the pace and pressure of fast food was a complete shock to my system. It took months to get used to it, but I eventually found a rhythm. I could fry the chicken, bake the biscuits, take orders, put them together, and serve them to the customers with a smile. My manager especially helped me to get confident enough to do things on my own. However, when a new or stressful situation popped up, I still crumbled, always needing to get bailed out. I lacked the skills to improvise and simply couldn't handle how mean some of the customers could be. One night, I was too broken to drive home at all. The shift started out like any other. About 6 hours in, I was manning the drive-thru. It wasn't my favorite position, but I liked it better than being face-to-face with customers at the register. The extra bit of distance usually made things feel a little easier. It wouldn't help me tonight, and my confidence shattered within seconds when he pulled up to the window. I had taken his order a few minutes ago. He got half the combos on the menu and had a nitpicky request for each one. He pulled up alone. As he rolled up, there was a gappy smile on his face, but it disappeared the second we made eye contact. This guy already didn't like me, and I had the pleasure of finding out why.
Hey, your total comes out to...
Where's the girl?
Excuse me? What girl?
The baddie I was talking to on the speaker. Where'd she go?
Sir, I don't know how to break this to you, but it's kind of a sausage fest back here. You were talking to me.
What? Well, I guess the heart wants what it wants. Why don't you put on a wig and a skirt and then I'll paint your face for you?
Sir,
Call me Daddy.
No! Your total is $94.75.
Huh, you think you're unbreakable. Here, take it. Don't worry, it's real. And there's plenty more where that came from.
All my coworkers heard my outburst, but they didn't hear what that creep had said to me. They just looked at me weird and asked if I was alright. I told them I was fine. In fact, while I was helping to put together his massive order, I had an idea on how to get back at him. I gave him the burnt biscuits that had been sitting out for hours. They were basically bricks, but I figured he wouldn't notice until he got home and bit into one. I was wrong. With all his bags ready to go, I returned to the window, trying to keep a straight face. I ignored his creepy comments and handed him his food. Then I closed the window and walked away, pretending to be busy. 30 seconds later, I walked back, expecting him to be gone, but he was still there, with an angry look on his face. My stomach dropped. He must have looked through his food and found the burnt biscuits. I should have known. He was a Karen. Karens always check their food so they can complain. And now I had to open the window and deal with him all over again.
I'm sorry, sir. Is there something wrong with your order?
You're goddamn right there's something wrong. You useless bastards gave me a bunch of burnt biscuits. How the hell am I supposed to eat this shit? You better make me fresh biscuits right now and do it right this time or I'll split your ass in half. I'll do it. I'm sorry. Just let me go.
I collapsed on the floor right then and there and had a full-blown panic attack. I would have to remake his entire order just to get him to stop being mad. Luckily, my manager saw the whole thing go down. The freak only let me go because my manager was rushing over. He even drove away from the window, but people were saying he was still out there. I felt like he was going to come in and kill me. But again, my manager looked me in the eyes and told me everything was going to be fine. He was going to go out there and have a word with the guy. With the way he said it, I believed he was really going out there to fix things. I couldn't bear to watch. All I could do was listen from my little hole under the window, terrified by every sound of their voices.
Why'd you put your hands on my employee? I should call the cops. Stop defending them. They were asking for it. Shut the hell up. Hey, stay back, asshole. No, you're gonna be sorry you...
He shot our manager. The second I heard it, I curled up into a ball and hid like a coward, while everyone else ran away. I knew for sure that man was going to come inside and hunt me down. It would happen any second now. But someone across the street had called the cops. They came and found the man had already fled. My manager was dead. Nobody had even tried to help him. Ever since then, I can't stop having panic attacks as I relive this nightmare, despite the fact the man was arrested. I still can't shake this overwhelming shame and guilt. My manager went out to talk to him on my behalf. My manager died because of me, all because I got mad and gave a customer some burnt biscuits. A Popeyes manager was accused of shooting his co-worker over burnt biscuits. Rodney Wood, 22, was arrested and charged with attempted first-degree murder. The shooting happened at around 6 p.m. on May 11th at a Popeyes restaurant on South Boulevard. A witness, who was a customer at the time of the shooting, told police the altercation stemmed from an argument between Wood and another employee because of overcooked biscuits. The witness reported that both went outside after one challenged the other. That employee was rushed to the hospital in life-threatening condition with critical injuries. He then underwent emergency surgery. When officers arrived at the restaurant, Wood was gone. According to other witnesses, Wood ran away, but police found and apprehended him within the same shopping center. Wood claimed that once he and the manager had stepped outside, he was punched in the face 3 times. He then allegedly fired 2 warning shots that were not intended to kill. The 2 allegedly had conflicts in the past. I'd been working all day with my kids waiting at home. I didn't have the energy to cook. My only decent option was to stop and get something for us to eat. Luckily, there was a Popeyes on my way home. To be honest, when I saw the line of cars wrapped around the building, I should have passed Popeyes and tried my luck at something a little less popular, like Burger King. But I was already craving fried chicken, so I got in line and waited, inching forward, burning gas, responding to text after text from my daughter asking when I would be home. People were honking, leaning out of their cars to see what the hell was taking so long. It was too late to go inside. The drive-thru was our only option. Finally, when I at least got to where I could place my order, I thought I was making progress, but I started to get the idea of what was happening on the other side of the line.
Hello? Are you there? Can you hear me? Hello?
Bitch, wait a minute.
Oh, sorry. I'm coming, baby.
What do you want?
Okay, can I get 2 family meals?
2? Nah, you can go on a diet and get 1.
Really? It's for my kids.
I don't care how many kids you got, ho. I ain't making all that.
Look, I'm sorry. I know you're busy, but I just worked a double and my kids have been waiting for me to bring dinner home all night.
Yeah, whatever. Nobody wants the sob story. Just pull up to the window.
Okay. So then 2 family meals, right?
Stop holding up the line and pull forward.
All right, damn.
After being verbally abused by the woman working the drive-thru, I lost all sympathy for the employees. When I finally turned the last corner and could see the end, I was also able to watch what orders were being handed out. None of them were that big. I know I ordered a lot, but everyone else just had 1 small bag and a drink. Even more reason to believe this was all due to the incompetence and laziness of the people working inside. I knew if I had their work ethic, I would have been fired 10 times over that same day. But here they were, wasting my damn time. At last, in spite of everything, I made it to the window. The nasty bitch behind it didn't even say anything to me. She just stuck her hand out, not even looking my direction. But I still slapped my card into her hand so I could get my food. She swiped it, gave it back to me, then slammed the window and disappeared inside. I had my receipt which showed a charge for 2 family meals, which alleviated one concern. I just had to wait for my food. It took forever. Almost felt like it took just as long sitting at the window as it did getting through the line. I was so exhausted I think I was about half asleep, when all of a sudden, the window flew open, and they threw the bag into my car. I could smell it, the delicious fried chicken inside. At least they didn't screw that up. But still, something was wrong. The bag was too light. This couldn't be 2 whole family meals. I tore the bag open and counted everything. Sure enough, those bitches only gave me 1. Immediately, I turned back to the window and started shouting at them to come back. I knew it was rude, but I had been dealing with their shit for half an hour.
Hello? Get back out here. I said 2 family meals. 2! What the hell are you still doing here? You got your food, now get out of here. You're holding up the line. I'm holding up the line because you didn't give me what I paid for. Huh. Well, now you're gonna get what you deserve.
It happened at lightning speed. She reached out through the window, grabbed me by the hair, then slammed my face down. She kept pulling me out of my car until I was dangling over the pavement. I tried to rip her hands off, but she kept lifting my head up just to slam me down into the windowsill. Again and again, I started screaming for help, begging them to stop. But she wasn't alone. 2 more women came out, running into the parking lot. They jumped me, pulling me out of my car and throwing me to the ground. They kicked me in the chest, punched me in the face, stomped my head into the wall, all while I pleaded for mercy. Every time I opened my mouth, they just broke more of my teeth. Then, one of them took a lock of my hair and ripped it straight out of my scalp. I thought I would never make it home to my kids. By the time they were finally pulled off and arrested by the cops, I was half bald, unable to move. So many of my bones were broken, my organs bruised, my spirit traumatized. I kept thinking, how could they do this? Why me? After days in the hospital, I finally went home. But even 2 years later, I'm still recovering. As it turns out, all 3 women were related. A mother and her daughter and niece, all thinking they could run the Popeyes kitchen themselves. I hope that trio finds better luck running the prison cafeteria. An Atlanta woman is filing a lawsuit against Popeyes, and several employees of the location she visited after an altercation broke out. Denitra Dawson says she went to the Popeyes to get dinner for her children. She says her order was wrong, so she went to the drive-thru to have it fixed, but says the employees inside weren't listening to her. Dawson says she pulled up to the window, and employees began yelling at her because she was holding up the drive-thru. One of the employees then came outside, opened Dawson's passenger door, climbed into her car, and began attacking her. Dawson says the employee ripped her hair out of her scalp, leaving a large bald spot. Police identified the 3 employees involved in the attack as the manager, Tanister Evans, and her sister and daughter. The other 2 employees have not been identified. All 3 women were charged with battery, but Evans received an additional charge of obstruction of an officer.